Alright, so we're back for a follow-up here. I forget exactly where we left off, but I remember we were talking about the intervals and how these are little micro patterns. So you can remember them as patterns. Now, if they are patterns in the pure sense of P4 tuning, okay, as all these are P4 tuning, so every single stack of notes you'll see is in fourths. All right, the 4 from 3 is 6. Okay, 4 from 6 is 2. Okay, 4 from 2 is 5. Something like that. That's P4 tuning. All the patterns are in there in P4 tuning. These are all these patterns are just straight. If you want a simplified version of P4 tuning, just look at the first 4 strings of the guitar. Okay, now these aren't the strings, these are the dividers between the notes. The strings are in between. The strings kind of go along like right here. You see kind of where I'm making like a line there? See that? That would be like one of the strings, and then another one would be like there, kind of in the middle like that. That's where the strings would be. So if you just looked at the first 4 strings, with the 4th string being, and I'm sorry, this is I'm just using the square box with 0 with 0 height. Sounds like a math problem. Draw me a square box with 0 height. You know, that would be your 4th string right there, about. And if we look at just the bottom 4 strings, everything's in P4 tuning. 2 goes to 5, 5 goes to R. I know, R goes to 4. Okay, but then with the warp, now 4 just goes to 6, not to, well, 4 doesn't go to B flat there. That would be the B flat. Here's the 6th. But once you get to that 6, it goes back to P4 tuning, so it goes to the 2nd. All right, treat these like they were patterns, okay? So your minor third is always going to be this pattern here, where you're jumping from here to here. Now on these patterns, these guys right here, these are the easiest patterns to learn. They're 4 notes apart. So according to this diagram here, the 4 notes apart, here's 4 frets apart, you know, 4 half steps. Don't worry about that they go up 1. I'm just saying they do go up 1 to the next one. So 5 goes to 6, that's a whole step, see? And that's 4 frets apart as it goes, and 1 up. Okay, now you could do it, you know, you could look at it as I'm going down, let's see, down a whole step. I'm going down a minor third and up a 4th. And guess what? Okay, if you go down minor third and up a 4th, that's a whole step too. All right, you can look at it, but that's complicated. We just look at it as we're going to the next string. The interval is going to be 4 frets away, and that's what works with this pattern. 5 goes to 6, root goes to 2, 4 goes to 5. Now watch, we just go to the 6 here. Okay, the 6 to the 7 extends out for another 4 frets away. That's 1 step. And then the other pattern goes right on top of it. That's one of the benefits of having the 7th there. Okay, and the 4th goes right on top of that root. So this is a pattern, and it's not warped. There's no tuning warp there. It's all P4 tuning. Okay, so you look at these patterns the same way. And when it comes time to jump the warp, then you know that you have to take this guy. When the warp comes along, you have to take this one, okay, and then move it up like that. And that will be the interval that is the same whole step. But normally that far away would be a minor third. Okay, but this string is tuned differently. It's actually tuned a half step less, so then to get the same effect, you have to go a half step more, and that balances it out. So it's important to play around with it. Go into the warp and out of the warp, like go ascending and descending. Go from step from string number 4 to 5. Okay, so let's say you're going to do a perfect fourth. Normally a perfect fourth would be from root to 4 right here, right? But you're going to do a perfect fourth from string number 4 to string number 5. You have to go over 1. Now when you want to go down a perfect fourth, let's say R to 5, okay, that's a perfect fourth too, just going in the other direction. Where is an R to 5 that right here doesn't happen? Now I have to go the other way. So when you're ascending through the warp, okay, you have to do you have to go up 1 to compensate for the lower tuned string. When you're descending on the warp, you can't go straight down. You have to go down even further to have the same interval and to keep the pattern the same, because you're going to be playing the pattern. Now, it doesn't mean you have to play everything in patterns, because that's the first thing I thought when I learned patterns. Oh no, I'm not going to know what notes they are. I'm just going to play these patterns. Try that one more time. This is our 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes it just, you're just not sure where you are. You think you're on a 7 root 2 and you're on a 3, 4, 5, because it's the same thing. Half step, whole step. Half step, whole step. Well, the wonderful thing about the patterns is when you're going from an S2L to an S3S, you have the same pattern. So you repeat whole step, half step here, whole step, half step here. Do this thing up there, go into this, and then when you go from the 7S, half step, whole step, the next one repeats it, half step, whole step. It repeats. So 6, 7 is whole step, half step. And when you stack the 2, 3, 4 on top of that, okay, here's your 6, 7, once again you got whole step, half step. So there's that little doubling in it, but sometimes you don't know where you are, right? So 7 root 2 would be half step, whole step. To the next pattern, S3L is also half step, whole step. Then it changes. Okay, then we go into an S3S again, but it's the same. Like that. And the 5, 6 warps up. So you learn about peculiarities of building the pattern, and you become familiar with that. It helps you. It helps you. So it's important, again, to learn the patterns the way they are. Now, how do you keep, like I was starting to say and I got off the track, how do you keep from saying I'm just playing a pattern? Because I wouldn't be able to play those patterns if I didn't know what step I was on, what number. So you got to keep in mind where you're at. At least start the beginning of the pattern. So know what the bottom of the pattern is. I know I'm on 3, 4, 5 here, S2L.